office and the governor's appointee is another office. So since you're an appointee by the county, I would suspect that it would be appropriate to have a vice chair who was one of the governor's appointees. And to that point, I would like to nominate Commissioner Barr.
Do we have any seconds for Commissioner Barr?
I'd second that. But I don't think you need a second for a nomination.
Okay. So do we have any other nominations for Vice Chairman? Okay, hearing none. I guess we'll go for a vote for, I guess first for Commissioner Galetta. I guess first, Commissioner Barr, would you like to be Vice Chairman? Would you accept the nomination?
If it is the will of the commissioners, I will.
So that being the case, we'll start with, I don't think we've ever had this before, so we'll start with Commissioner Galetta. I guess we'll do a yay and nay, we'll also, I guess, raise hands so we can get a tally here.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear what Mr. Barr said.
He said yes, he said if the commissioners, not to speak for him, but I believe he said if the commissioners would have him, you would accept.
Will the commission, I will accept the nomination.
So if it's the will of the commission, you'll accept the nomination.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay, those in favor of Commissioner Galetta?
Wait a minute.
You got a question?
Oh, sorry.
Do I have to vote?
Yes,
You can vote for himself.
absolutely.
Should be a secret ballot.
You may want to do a roll call.
Should there be a ballot that isn't secret?
There's never a ballot, it's always been done by a voice vote.
Yeah.
Should it be a roll call now, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman?
I was here.
Doesn't matter to me either way, we're going to get this done. So, do a roll call.
Okay. You would just go through the commissioners and they can say who their choice is?
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner Ashman.
Tell me one more time, I can't hear what the vote is.
You're gonna either vote for Commissioner Galetta or Barr. You're just gonna tell us Barr or Galetta.
Okay, Barr.
Commissioner Barr.
Lee.
Commissioner Brown.
I passed, I don't want to vote on
Commissioner Sheila.
Galetta.
Commissioner Logar.
Galetta.
Commissioner McGlinchey.
Galetta.
Commissioner Prickett.
Barr.
Commissioner Rowan Green.
Commissioner Galetta.
Chairman Earl.
Galetta.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For Galetta, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Very good.
I would just say that, both of the commissioners that were nominated do a good job as the vice chairman. I think it's important that precedent be continued on the commission. That's why I think it was important to take this vote and also for the outcome for whatever it was. Thank you.
And I agree with Commissioner Prickett as well. Both guys do serve very well here on the commission, and I consider both friends.
And I am in no way disappointed.
You didn't get a chance to campaign.
No. So,
Mr. Galetta will do a tremendous job.
all right, next, committee appointments. We've, a few months back, we changed committee appointments. I believe we have a couple changes that we're going to make to the committees this time around, and that would be adding Commissioners Prickett and Glinchey to the P&B committee. And really the only reason we did that, outside of two gentlemen accepting that responsibility was because we were having, struggling to get attendance and quorum at those meetings. A lot of the folks who were on that committee traveled from far distances, and we were unable to be able to vote on some issues. So that's the only reason that we've made those changes on the committees. The new committees will be posted on the website, if not today, Monday, for everybody to do.
It comes with a salary increase, right?
Yes, it's the stipend you're going to get for that, yes. Double.
It's doubling it, that's right.
So that should be it for our reorganization portion. Next up is the adoption of the minutes from June 10th. June 10th meeting, do we have a move their adoption?
Second.
Any questions or comments on those minutes? Hearing none, could we, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Very good. Committee chairs and reports. First up, we'll do P&B. There was no P&B meeting. So we'll move on to P&I. And I have a summary here that I'll go through. The P&I meeting is held at June 24th here at the Richard Sullivan Center. The minutes from May 27th were adopted. The committee received updates from the 2015 Pinelands Conservation Fund projects. 3 projects closed, an additional 487 acres were preserved at the cost of $243,500. 2 projects were not anticipated to close by the June 30th deadline, so their allocations will return to the fund. Recommendations for new acquisitions will be considered at future meetings. The committee also reviewed various mapping changes proposed by Pemberton Township to certify the 2009 master plan and their 2014 master plan reexamination. And we're recommending approval for those implementation those master plan changes. And the committee also received presentations on 2 plan review items. And next month, staff's likely to bring these rule proposals up to the full commission regarding protection of the black run in Evesham Township and revisions to the CMP sign regulations. Are there any questions on the P&I meeting notes that I just read? Okay, hearing none. I think that's it for, we didn't have an ag meeting, right?
No ag meeting.
So next up, executive director's reports.
Thank you. Update on Wharton. So when last we met, I think the science office was continuing their work to take all the data we had gotten, get it into one data set. I'm just on the wrong computer words, but most of you will notice. It's just everybody behind me is going to start to squirm. They completed that effort. Kim Lady from the science office then sat down with the 2 staff members who are going to do the next step of that work, both of whom I believe are sitting behind me as well. That would be Robin Jenny and Lisa McCarrion. So if you see them do this, it's because I'm not explaining what's going on right. They're now going to go back and look at each of the data points we have in terms of the sort of photo map of Wharton to both make sure that they're placed right and to sort of categorize them. Uplands, wetlands, on-road, off-road, and as they start to do that, there may be other categorizations they will do. They're working now with our GIS office on some technical aspects of attributes and how they're determined and the layers and how that's all worked out. Once they complete that, which is happening this week, beginning of next week, then they'll start to do the actual work, which we don't anticipate will take particularly long, week, 2 weeks. Once they get into it, they may hit some glitches which might set it back, but that's the next step for us, to take all those points that we had, PPA had, Commissioner Cricket had, whatever else has come up, and make them real on a map. So that's the next step for that, which should be done in a couple of weeks. I know I've been offering and saying I was going to have updated enforcement data from DEP. I don't have it. It's not my fault. I'm meeting with the commissioner next week. We'll have it. So that's where we are with Morton. Anybody have any questions on that? there's a lot of interest. So we're pushing ahead hard and working hard.
Chairman, Nancy, the foundation for this, are you using the USGS math that I forwarded from 1980 circa? But,
Not at this point. Once we have them all located, we can put them on anything.
I see, okay.
So I think we're using whatever we're using, Google Earth, Bing, those kinds of, we want, the key is the most current map, because then you can actually see it.
Okay.
The more current the map, you can see the damaged area. Then once they're located, I believe, we could put it on anything. Yeah.
That makes sense. I appreciate that, because when the time comes for P&I or the full commission to consider it
Right.
for approval, I'll argue that I think we should be looking at maps from 1980, which at the time that the Pinelands particular area was created, so that we're looking to preserve the way it was then. Thank you.
Okay. Good news. Personnel news. I always like to report on good personnel news. So I don't know if we've ever discussed this at the commission. I know we discussed it at P&B. We have hired 2 people. Both are replacements. Barry Grady, who had been doing cultural work, had left a while ago. We had made up some of that work that, as you may recall, we had somebody who DEP had under contract, that we then had under contract here for 1 day a week. And then Mel retired, so we had an opening in business services to fill. We have filled both of those positions, and before I tell you about the people we filled them with, I just want to tell you that in everything that personnel-wise that we're doing now, I do with an eye toward cross-department. The commission is lean and mean, and I recognize that. So whenever we can hire people who have the ability to serve more than one master, that's fabulous for us. And both of these individuals provide that for us, which is why it's so exciting. So the first one's Tony McNichol. Tony's here. Yay.
Thank you.
Tony is going to do cultural resource work. He's been doing cultural resource work for us since the end of 2014 on a part-time basis. So we believe we vetted him. We don't think there's anything that's going to pop up and surprise us, but you never know. Tony's a really interesting guy. His resume is really thick, and he's got a lot of fun things in it that make us happy, besides his enormous wealth of experience doing cultural resource work, both for DEP and for us, and before that for many years. But he also has other cool things going on, and that's good for us, but I'm not going to tell you what they are, because it's too soon to embarrass people. Dawn Holgerson is also here. She is our second new hire. She has also been working here since the end of 2014 on a part-time basis. Method to our madness. And Dawn is going to fill a sort of different role than Mel did, because Terry, who you probably saw at the desk when you came in, has stepped into Mel's position, and she's really happy about it, and that's all a good thing. We have almost no support staff here. They all went over the years, and we have a desperate need across, everybody needs support in all kinds of ways. And Dawn is quick enough and smart enough that she has shown over the past year that she can pick up all kinds of work and do it really well and really efficiently and really pleasantly. So that's a wonderful addition for us. So they're both here, they're both working full-time now, and we're real excited.
I just wondered if you could separate, the sensitive sites that might be exploited with sites that could be used to write the history of these towns, South Jersey and somehow.
Probably most of the ones that are designated are so public that we wouldn't have any problem. The ones that we have more sensitivity on are ones where things are found during the course of the survey, because they're sort of going.
Thank you.
The last thing, just in terms of plan review, we're still trying to move ahead with PDCs. We were surprised somewhat at the last P&I meeting that the South Jersey Builders came in and made a presentation. We're going to make a presentation, we didn't have it in advance, so we will come back to the P&I committee with some more information and bring up where we are at PDCs. That's all.
Good morning, Commissioners, members of the public. I just wanted to update you on 2 items. The first one is the Lower Bank Bridge in Washington Township. The Commissioners may recall that there are many issue with the bridge, and that the commission previously approved the bridge with a condition that public access for fishing be provided. I believe it was at the last commission meeting, I provided members of the commission with a letter that we had sent to an interested member of the public about the traffic safety issue that was being raised by the fishing. In that letter, the staff offered to go down and meet with both get together with the county and with the township. I believe it was early last week, Executive Director Wittenberg and I traveled down to Washington Township to meet with the Deputy Mayor of Washington Township to discuss the matter. We also took the opportunity to do a site inspection of the bridge just to more fully understand the matter. Our discussions with the Deputy Mayor confirmed the information that we had relayed in our letter that we provided to the Commission at last month's meeting, that the township believed it was a public safety issue, a traffic issue, that the areas that are available on that bridge for public fishing are not protected from the travel lanes. The Deputy Mayor indicated that if some type of barrier could be provided, I don't want to call it guardrail, but something similar to a guardrail that would ensure the safety of the public fishing on the bridge, that the township would be willing to reconsider the issue. At this point, we're going to be hopefully discussing the matter with the county, the county's bridge, to discuss whether or not from a traffic safety standpoint, there is sufficient width on that bridge to provide for any type of barriers that would protect people wishing to fish on the bridge. And that's the status at the moment. I'd be happy to answer any questions on that. And the other item I just wanted to mention was, I don't know whether Stacy was going to bring this up or not, but the Permit Extension Act, the New Jersey Permit Extension Act, which has been extending county and municipal permits and approvals since 2008, I believe.
2008 was when it was passed, and extended back to 2007.
Thank you, Stacy.
2007.
And obviously that serves a beneficial purpose. It is difficult to administer at times because you're tracking municipal land use law approvals, were they in effect, at what point and what year, and the Permit Extension Act picks them up and brings them to December of 2015. There are questions under our regulations of which particular approvals are extended. Not all Pinelands area approvals are extended by the Permit Extension Act. We were making our way pretty successfully through till the end of the calendar year 2015. With limited provisions, that was the end of the Permit Extension Act, but we were just advised the Permit Extension Act has been extended retroactively back to January 1st of 2016 through the end of the 2016 calendar year, with a little bit of a twist, which is only certain counties has the Permit Extension Act been extended for that were impacted by Superstorm Sandy. And I just wanted to mention that to the Commissioner. That's all I have to report.
Chuck, I thought I read that was extended until the end of June of 17.
That has to do, Chairman, with the other provisions in the Permit Extension Act. So the Permit Extension Act itself, with regard to this recent amendment that was just signed by the governor, extends through December 31st of 2016 those approvals in Sandy impacted counties, and those are actually delineated in the legislation. The act itself then is a tolling statute. So if you had remaining time on your approval, so at the time that it was tolled, you still had a valid period that you were protected from zoning changes, on December 31st, 2015, those periods of protection reactivate, for lack of a better term, and then you have up till 6 months. So those old approvals can continue to run for up to 6 months beyond the expiration date of the now amended Permit Extension Act of 2008. So that's why in the newspaper, it's a subtle nuance, but that's probably why they said June.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Chuck? Anything on the legal side? Paul, you're up.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm happy to provide some updates on our efforts to raise awareness and appreciation of the Pinelands. And to that end, My colleague Joel Mott, on June 8th alone, he delivered 6 45-minute presentations to 350 students at Lakewood Middle School. 6 45-minute presentations is quite a long day. So he did a great job there. He discussed the need to protect water quality and water supplies. These were students who were winning school for DEP's annual water festival and the Barney Bay Bliss Rain Barrel Challenge. Mouthful.
Can
He
I
also, yes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say he also did a presentation
Yes.
at the Blueberry Festival.
I was just getting to that. Yes, that was on Sunday. So we enjoyed that as well. With school out, despite school being out, he's going to deliver numerous public programs about the Pinelands at public libraries and local historical societies going forward. On average, we educate approximately 2,000 people directly through our different programs each year, including the short course, World Water Monitoring Day, in-class presentations here, and elsewhere. So we're
Well,
trying
let
to
me interrupt you for 1 second. I don't want you to think it's like Joel Mott Day, but I've asked Paul now to routinely update the commission on those kinds of activities because we never talk about it. And Paul's office, including Joel, do so much work. So I thought it was important to routinely, let Paul talk about all the stuff that Joel does and that Paul does.
If we could highlight each employee at a different time, I think it'd be really interesting. Because I know the staff here is really fascinating.
So one such upcoming presentation is our Pinelands orientation for municipal officials, which I'm hoping we can get some people to go to, more people to go to. This is scheduled for July 28th. It's Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We've been doing this in coordination with the Pinelands Municipal Council for more than 10 years. Typically, we track approximately 50 people, municipal officials primarily. I know Commissioner Barr and others, Prickett, have been there in previous years. And we do an overview on what makes the Pinelands special. We also have Chuck delivers a presentation on regulatory programs and Larry on planning. And this year, there's going to deliver a presentation highlighting some of our rule changes that are in the works. So we're really hoping to get people to come out to that. It is a public meeting, and we're hoping people will come. There's a free dinner. Hopefully that brings people to come. So once again, July 28th, Thursday.
And we have 2 terrific speakers, or maybe 3 also, Chuck and Larry.
Oh, yes.
Got this down pretty well. And
Yes.
I think Nancy did a nice introduction. So
Yes, and last year we did a quiz, which was new. We continue that just to test people's knowledge on Pinelands. So, as you may know, Burlington County College, now known as Rowan College at Burlington County, is closing its Pemberton campus and transitioning to Mount Laurel in 2017 approximately. And many months ago, I reached out to them to ask them what they're doing with their Pinelands collection, because there's a lot of good artifacts that are there. And as it happens, we're moving forward with our visitor center project, which will feature numerous artifacts and other things for people to look at. And so I'm very pleased to announce that last month, they officially donated their collection to us. And we can use it in our displays. So I brought some items here with me. Here is a handmade, what they call split oak basket, probably a reproduction produced in the style of Indian hand, who was the last Lenape Indian in the area, who used to go door to door in Chemung selling the baskets. And I also have here a well-worn cranberry scoop, which is used to dry harvest cranberries. We use that. They also donated to us many glass items, which I'll pull up real quickly. And we've logged these items in to our system. And I worked with the Wheaton Arts in Millville to identify these various things they donated to us. They informed us that many of these were produced by Clevenger Brothers in Clayton, Gloucester County. These are pretty much reproductions of glass that was made here in our style, in some cases made and sold at Batsto to show the type of things they used to make at Batsto.
looks like a lot of them are pomple.
Yeah, there are. And so we also received numerous historical books about cranberry and harvesting. This book here was written in 1800s.
Is that the J.J. White?
We have that, yes.
Okay, because that was written next door here in Fenwick, Mass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did get that book. I should also note that we have boxes of cassette tapes of audio recordings of local histories of Pine Barrens people. And we're going to look into digitizing those and making them available for the public so you can listen to them. Probably convert them to an MP3, they come into our visitor center, put on headphones and listen to them. Because the cassette tapes themselves are probably pretty degraded. I'm not even sure we have a cassette player anymore. So, and we also got bog ore and numerous pieces of slag. And these things are beautiful. I'm going to display these as well. This one you have to be careful with. I got myself on it.
How did they obtain these in the first place?
Donations, and I should note the history of the Pinelands collection was started by their alumni association. And we were a part of that as well, the commission was, in the 1980s. They still have a number of items. This is the J.J. White book, Cranberry Culture.
The donations just came from various people.
Yes. They also donated different pins. These are pins supporting positive action in the Pinelands. And here's one here, ordered and paid for by Bob Shin.
Wow.
Interesting. Not really sure when this was put out, whether it was that first run in the 60s or the 70s. Not really sure. I need to talk about it. But we are going to incorporate these into our exhibits, in particular in our panel that focuses on the evolution of Pinelands protection. We also got cranberry labels.
Yeah.
Of course, are very neat. And that's pretty much it. I should also note that the college has been one of our repositories for minutes, reports, and other documents over the years, along with Stockton University. So they gave all of those materials to Stockton to have the full collection. And any duplicates or documents we might be missing or reports, they're going to give to us, which is great, because over the years we found some reports we can't find them. So that's good news there.
We're going to need a bigger display space.
Yeah.
I can tell.
So that's really good for us to have all these materials. Our visitor center project is moving forward. We have a contract now, just waiting to be signed. Once that moves forward, we'll have our kickoff meeting and do our permitting. They're going to take measurements, fabricate the exhibits, and it's roughly a 7 to 8 month process before it's ready to open, with it timed so that the demolition occurs in the last month and construction in the last month, approximately 20 days total. So, any questions?
Good work. We have up next, anything on the legal end? No? Two? Resolutions. We have two in front of us.
Chairman, the resolution of Hartford Township,
Yes.
we received an appeal this morning. We haven't had a chance to review the appeal for its timeliness or its content, but so we're going to pull that agenda item.
So we're going to punt the Waterford
Yep.
Township until further review of an appeal
Of the
that's
appeal.
received this morning. Okay.
You need to take them?
So we need to,
We need anything?
we need a motion to table that? Or
But if staff is withdrawing it from the agenda, that should be sufficient.
All right, very good. So,
Move the adoption of Hamilton.
we have a second on Hamilton.
Second.
We have any presentation or report on this one? No? Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
I remember you were updated on this over the years. This hasn't been before the P&I committee, or maybe did you come before the P&I committee? Recently, anyway.
Could you clarify your question, Commissioner, please?
Is this an application that goes before the P&I committee?
No, this is a typical public development application.
Oh, so it's a private?
No, that's
Okay.
not. This is a public development application, which would follow the normal course. An applicant submits information to your staff, it's reviewed. The staff, on behalf of the executive director, drafts up a public development report, and it arrives at a commission meeting for the determination to approve or deny. This is not a private development application, it's a public development application.
So that wouldn't come before the P&I committee? I thought public applications did come before the P&I.
Correct. It's very unusual for either a public or a private development application to come to the Policy and Implementation Committee. MOAs make their way through the Policy and Implementation Committee, and sometimes those MOAs are driven by a particular development application. But the typical public and private development applications, the commission only sees those at the end of the process.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments on the Huntington resolution? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Very good. Moving on. Ordinances, planning matters, the certification of Pemberton Township's rezoning ordinance.
As I did for the P&I committee, I'm going to recuse myself from this vote. I was on the council at the time that the master plan was passed. I think it would be inappropriate for me to sit in on this vote.
Thank you. Thank you. I know we received a presentation at P&I. Is there anything for today on this?
Only if I can repeat, or we can show you the maps. Many of you were here at P&I, can do that again if you'd like. It's you.
I have an understanding of it. I don't know if any of the commissioners have questions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to be on the record as being concerned about the level of a development along the Grand Caucasus River. That's not a no vote, it's just a concern.
Okay. I think we went over that
Yes.
for a while at P&I as well.
We did.
Yep. Any other questions or comments on the Pemberton Township? We did not get a motion, I believe. We have a motion on this?
I move it.
Second. And not hearing any other comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? And we get Mr. Cricket?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
All right, that moves us to public comment on agenda items and pending public development applications, of which there are many. This is the point in the meeting where public come up to the mic and express any questions, concerns, thoughts regarding anything that's on the agenda or anything that is pending before there's a list in the packet for public development applications. Please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes so that everybody has an equal opportunity to make their comments. Is there anybody for public comment on agenda items? If you would please just identify yourself.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Bessica. I'm the Camden County engineer. And our application, I think, is the third one on the agenda. We have been working with your staff and our consultant to get approval to do scour countermeasures on the wooden bridge on Sicklerville Road in Winslow. The repairs are basically putting enforcement underneath the bridge foundation in order to meet the DOT structural bridge requirements for this priority 1 repair. As the county engineer, I've been working very hard to address the bridges in Camden County, not just the large bridges, but the minor bridges as well, that are inspected and get reports that say there's undermining, because this is a health, safety, and welfare issue. So we've been working with your staff, and we hope that we can get approval so we can move forward. if you have any questions, I'll be sure to tell you what the disturbance is. It's relatively small, and we have DEP approvals already.
Could you tell us the disturbances?
Sure. Basically,
Short enough?
the area of permanent riprap is 78 square feet, which isn't really very large. The area of restored riparian buffer is 83 square feet. When we put the cofferdam in, basically the stream is so large there behind the dam for Brooklyn Lake that we only put a cofferdam down the middle of the stream under the bridge so that we can repair underneath the abutment on one side, dry it out, put riprap and stone underneath it. And then the stream is always open. If we have a storm, everything's designed so there's overtopping of that cofferdam. And then we go to the other side, repair the other abutment under that bridge. The disturbance is in that, to put that cofferdam in, is 272 square feet. So basically, if you round that to 300, it's 30 by 10. Okay? And we will restore that area that we need to for the cofferdam. But again, it's important to me that this scour is repaired before we have a failure. We had a failure in Camden County of the Baird Boulevard Bridge where the foundation failed 18 inches. The deck failed 9 inches. We spent $11 million to replace the entire bridge. It is a lot more efficient for us to go in and do these scour repairs where we have an old bridge that's on a wooden mat and wooden piles, and we put concrete or stone underneath it in order to ensure that it doesn't settle.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and nice to meet you.
Anyone else for public comment on agenda?
Good morning, Richard Parmasiero. I'm the Vice President of Planning and Research, Land Cape Community College. The application in front of you is for a student center at the college, which is partially funded by the 2012 bond issue that was voted on by the voters of the state for higher educational institutions. So first, we'd like to thank taxpayers that helped pay for it, but we also like to thank the commission. We have developed a campus in Mays Landing in fits and starts. We've been before you before for other projects. We are not allowed to bond, so whenever the state gives us money is when we do a project and do a building. We've added a Rutgers University building on the campus. You can get a Rutgers degree for under $35,000 right on the campus. We've added a solar field, we've added a STEM building, and this project will add a student center. I believe we're the only college in New Jersey without a student center, so we'll add a student center with this project. So just like to thank the commission for working in what is fits and starts, really not the best way to do things, but unfortunately that's the way we have to develop the campus. So just like to say thank you, and we look forward to approval in August.
Thank you. Anyone else on pending public applications or on the agenda? All right, seeing none, close that portion of public comment. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your name, I apologize.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Cannoli, and I'm here today to talk about an application that was presented to you by Waterford Township for a parking lot, 100-car parking lot. I do have a written appeal that you will be going over. I just wanted to verbally say a little bit about it.
Excuse me, this matter is actually before the commission for review, and I believe the public comment period has closed. So unless you have actually submitted comment, you cannot accept new comment because the record is closed.
Yeah, I think that We have a unique situation here, Mr. Chairman. I believe this is the individual that has filed an appeal of the Woodford Township application. The public comment period has been closed on that application earlier in the meeting. At the staff's suggestion, that application was pulled off of today's agenda. I don't think it would be appropriate now to accept public comment on the application until we determine its status, whether it's going off to the Office of Administrative Law or it would be back on the commission agenda. I would defer to Ms. Roth if she wanted to add any additional observations to that.
It sounds like it's got potential to be pending legal matter. I think we should withhold any more comment on this until we get further advice on and review of the appeal.
So we appreciate your interest.
Okay, I understand.
It's a procedural question.
I understand.
Thank you.
One more time before I close. Anything else on pending development applications or agenda items? Once, twice, closed. All right, we do not have any ordinances requiring commission action. So that being the case, we'll move to general public comment. This is the opportunity for members of the public to come to the microphone and discuss any topic, not just those that are on the agenda. We have a sign-in list. Again, I ask please try to keep your comments 3 minutes. If you have something that's longer, we'll gladly take anything in writing. First up, I have, and I apologize, some handwriting not legible here. Kevin, Becca.
That's me, but I thought I had to sign up just.
Here we go. All right. Frank Canoli. You're going to withhold because it's water. Yeah, water. Okay. Mark Petro.
My name is Mark Dimitrov. I'm a resident of Richland Village. I'm here to ask you your advice on the Office of Administrative Law. There were 3 occasions where I was denied access to the Office of Administrative Law, even though my properties what had happened is that my property was trespassed. I had loss of amenity value with removal of trees from my property. You changed the zoning, you allowed redevelopment to occur on my property, and if you look at the second page, you'll actually see there's a gerrymander on a certified survey that your commission paid for that shows a 50-foot swath of my property taken on an official engineered licensed survey. The interesting thing about this is that what's the inspiration for me to be here today is I have repeated trespass to my property. Last fall, CSX and Conrail was on my property yet again. I kicked them off. They brought out the CSX police. They called the state troopers, which then initiated a survey that you see. You see the surveyor standing there looking at that, and now I actually have the areas marked out that shows that my argument that this is my property works. That basically the survey that you paid $35,000 for from the redevelopment engineer and our township engineer, in fact, is incorrect. Now, what had happened is that on 3 separate occasions I complained about this to Stacy Roth. She denied me access to the Office of Administrative Law, but by 52:17A-11, the statute, and by Executive Order Number 6, she had no right to do that. The Deputy Attorney General, Sean Marty, is the person that has that responsibility. I sent this to the Ethics Commission. The Ethics Commission kicked it off to the Department of Law and Public Safety. And part of my agreement with Oprah was that they would hand deliver this because it somehow got missed. And so I'm arguing with you that Stacy Roth had no lawful ability to deny me access Despite that, I've had chemical trespass. I had the redevelopment on my property, and it shows that, the survey shows that that's my property. So I'm asking, what remedy, what type of cure do we have for something like this, where I was 3 times denied the access to the administrative law? Also, another person whose house is repeatedly flooded by the Richland basin. Just this last week, we had a 4.25-inch rainfall. It's designed for 5.2 inches. There's a foot of water above the 100-year flood stage. Yet again, goes through their yard, floods their house. She asked for the administrative law, and she was denied as well. What do we need? If I can't have access to it, then nobody can.
Mr. Roth, when an applicant is not satisfied with the decision of the commission, what path do they have to look? Mr. Markovich.
Sorry, I want to be careful to stop short of giving legal advice to the public, but they have rights potentially in the health division, or if they are not considered a third party under the Administrative Procedure Act, they would have potential recourse with the Office of Administrative Law. I don't remember the exact details of Mr. Petrov's case, but the determination was made by the commission in consultation with the Attorney General's office. They did not have standing under the Administrative Procedures Act to have access to the Office of Administrative Law. That decision was communicated and we're looking for such purpose.
My argument is I have not received any paperwork from the Attorney General or from the Attorney General's office. I have it from Stacy Roth, and she had no right, no authority to lawfully stop me. I want to see it from the Deputy Attorney General's office.
The decision is the commission's decision to make. Stacy Roth acted on behalf of the commission, drafting a letter informing Mr. Dimitrov that he was denied access to administrative law because he's a third party. Nothing is going to complicate. That's not how it works. The Attorney General's office will not be writing anything directly to Mr. Dimitrov or any other member of the public on these types of issues.
But Ms. Roth can only recommend to the Attorney General. She has no authority to be doing what she's doing. That was my argument to the State Safety and Law Division of the Attorney General's office. By the state statute, which is 52:17A-11, and by Executive Order Number 6 by the Governor's office, commissions, the attorneys that give advice are in fact the Deputy Attorney General. That's provided to you. He's paid $60,000, $70,000 a year to do this. Stacy Roth is interceding incorrectly, unlawfully, and keeping me from going there. I want to hear from the Attorney General's office.
Mr. Dimitrov, we received advice from the Attorney General's office that this matter's been handled appropriately. If you would like to pursue other courses, that's completely up to you. I don't think you're going to get any further action from this commission or from our legal counsel based off that.
So you have a written record of this occurring, that there's a written record where the Attorney General's office has recommended to you to deny you. Is there an actual written record?
Sir, I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm going to ask
But there should be, I'll open it, then you understand what I'm asking for when I open it.
That's fine, you can open that, yes.
If I open Public Record Act, I should see a response from the Attorney General's office that, in fact, supports Ms. Roth's opinion. Is that true? It is available?
Sir, I'm not going to go back and forth yet.
Okay.
I've said what I'm going to say about the matter.
Between trespass, loss of amenity value, I have no standing, you changed, you allowed redevelopment in the forest area, it's insane.
Thank you. Only because you checked off the box, Charlotte Dooley, I'm assuming no more comment. And last I had for public comment, Jason Howe.
Hi everyone, Jason Howell, Pinelands Preservation Alliance. I just wanted to update you all on the events I witnessed a month and a half ago that I reported on at the last full commission meeting, where I had recorded and reported individuals who were tearing up the roads in Wood State Forest, who I then found had been driving into the Batsto River, parked, got out, recorded video and then uploaded that video onto YouTube, which I then downloaded and tried to approach Park Police with this new evidence. After being rebuffed the first time, I saw the same officer again, went back and I said, hi, Jason Howell, if you remember, I reported this incident to you, complaint number 5843, and I have new evidence, I'd love to submit it. And he said, yes, I remember, but the detective was not interested. And he said, maybe I'll pass it on to my sergeant now. I have not received any phone call, email, or anything else to, issue some justice to these individuals. Now, the enforcement data that should be gleaned from the commission meeting with Nancy, I think it's important to remember that where the damage, where the tickets are issued is as important as the amount of tickets issued. If they're just issued on Quaker Bridge Road, then that means that these areas that we have documented the damage continuing in, such as Cherry Hill Road, Rockwood Road, Park Avenue, and areas off of Sandy Causeway, that means that these areas are just being unpatrolled because the damage continues there, but the Park Police vehicles are not able to access it. And so the damage simply will continue from here on out. And, I have the greatest respect for the police, for the Park Police. They have a terribly dangerous job, as we've witnessed from recent events. And they need the tools from management to do their job. One of those tools is a map and a designation of what is and is not a road, because right now, the DEP has refused to make that designation. I think if we give the Park Police these tools, then they will be able to more effectively manage this growing issue. Now, I've recently had the chance to view aerial footage taken above Wharton State Forest, and it is striking from the air. I've seen it from the ground, but seeing it from the aerial view and the vast damage in certain areas is just absolutely striking. So I thank you all for really seriously considering this issue, and wish you luck in going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Howell, the aerial footage you talked about, is that aerial footage something that could be available to the public, to us?
Certainly. We just uploaded it to YouTube ourselves, and I would be glad to share the link with the commission.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it for those who signed up for comment, but if we have any others, now's the time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tammy Fishman, Medford Lakes. I'm not sure you have the answer to this now, but I would like to get an answer if possible. I routinely pass the corner of Route 70 and Old Martin Pike in Medford. I believe that is still Medford. And there's a retention basin there, which in the past had really been quite nice. The water was clear, wildlife was using it, and it was, I felt anyway, an asset. Unfortunately, it has turned into an eyesore. It was cleaned out a while back, and then the water was allowed to accumulate, and it looks polluted. It's a rather vile gray-green color that is opaque, and there's no wildlife around it that I can tell. I don't know what has happened there, but I'm wondering if I could get an answer to that, and more importantly, if that could be corrected.
I saw Director Warner diligently taking notes there, so I think that he's going to look into it and hopefully report back to us in the near future with some kind of answer for you.
Thank you, thank you. And how could I get the answer to that? May I give you my email, or?
Certainly. I'll be updating the commission at the next commission meeting if you're here, but otherwise I'll be glad to email you the answer if you provide me with your email.
I will, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Warner, what role does the municipality have? I would like to thank the executive director and Bill Mott for doing a presentation at the White Spot Blueberry Festival. I think it's important for us to do outreach, and that was a good opportunity to do that. And maybe next year when we have our visitor center hopefully completed, perhaps we could have more of a presence at the Blueberry Festival. considering we had about 7,000 people visit the festival over 2 days. This is the first year in celebration of the centennial cultivation of blueberries at White Spot. We decided to go to 2 days, and it was quite a success. And the people that I spoke with and I did presentations for were very interested and attentive and asked great questions, and I think that's a real plus. Education is key. Getting out to see our natural resources and our cultural resources is important. We don't get out and enjoy our state parks and our historical structures. What's going to happen to them? So I hope that we all get out, whether it's White Spot, Brendan Eburn Forest, or Wharton, or anywhere else. I think we need to get out and use our parks and learn as much as we can about them. The history is rich, both natural and human history-wise. So thanks for the opportunity to talk about that. And again, I offered before, if anyone would be interested in a tour of White Spot, you can contact White Spot, you can contact me personally, and I'd be glad to do that. So, thank you.
It was a great time. I apologize again for not being able to make it.
Well, it was the 33rd, so you could come out for the 33rd.
We're going to cancel my weekends for the next 15 years. So I apologize. Any other comments from the commission? All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Aye.